and I love the PS1. Whenever I'm sad, I play the PS1, and whenever I'm happy, I play the PS1. PS1 is just great. And you know, I could keep going on, but what's this down here? Oh, why is the PlayStation 1 game? And what is it? Oh, look, it's the Value series. Oh, wow. I wonder what this game did to qualify for such worldwide stupendous gaming prominence. Well, I love the PS1, so let's just pop the son of a bitch in and have a jolly old time.
Caddy?
How the fuck did you get in my house?
Your door was open.
Ugh.
Okay, well, I just wanted to let you know about your subscribers. 100,000, that's insane.
But what about these awful games, Sam? I'm subjecting myself to all sorts of unbearable torture, and I'm not sure I can continue.
Caddy, you do this all the time, and seriously, I'm getting really sick of it. Not even Coronation Street broke you, so I'm not buying this. What are you reviewing now?
It's The Fifth Element. Oh, for fuck's sake! Caddicarus! Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not a game deserves to be slaughtered or salvaged. Now, today should be a very, very joyous one. But why is that? I hear you cry. Because, well, today signifies my celebration of over 100,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. That's just fucking incredible. I can't thank anyone enough for that. None of this would have happened without all of you beautiful people. So... But alas, many tears will be shed today, and why is this exactly? Well, I'll tell you why that is, and that is because of a promise that was made by myself in writing that I would review The Fifth Element for my 100,000 subscribers special. And you know what? It's kind of weird because I've never actually had a single request to do this game before. Not a single person has asked me to do this. Ever. And from what I hear, this game is completely and utterly god-awful, so maybe the fact that not a single person on planet Earth has asked me to review this, maybe that's a warning. Are people trying to save me from something? What the hell was that?
Oh, it was probably the end of the world approaching.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, that silly world. It's been screwing around for a while now.
Well, that's kind of big.
Nah, not really. Doesn't surprise me that you haven't noticed, to be honest. You're always so busy.
Huh.
Anyway, The Fifth Element needs no introduction, really. It's a weird movie, to say the least. It's loud, campy, silly, overdramatic, action-packed, ridiculous, and kick-ass entertainment. All of which is scarily French. I would run down the basic plot with you guys, but I don't think I'd need to. You won't actually need to know anything about the movie because this game doesn't follow the movie's fucking plot. We all know the fate of many movie-licensed games out there, and I think that by now we all know not to get any expectations up for the most part. Except for Spider-Man 2, because that game was the fucking tits! The guys behind this game were Callisto Entertainment, also responsible for Nightmare Creatures, which was released a year before. It's one of my top 20 favourite PS1 games of all time, so you know, my hopes are pretty high. And with that in mind, I'm just gonna pick the language and get on with this shit. And as it turns out, this game uses actual extracts from the movie for its FMV, and you know what? They look pretty damn good.
Except that fucking glitchy strobe light up there.
And then the menu happens. Wow, now that's a fucking base-destroying menu highlighter if I ever did hear one. It's almost kind of, I don't know, strangely melodic. And then the game's music decides to burst through my eardrums as it gets insanely loud, insanely quickly! And that's no editing trickery, that's directly from the game. Good job, guys. And looky dooky, there's some more movie clips to marvel at. And for PS1 FMV, I must say, this is pretty damn good quality. The audio is great, the visuals aren't too bad, and they're very lengthy. Minutes upon minutes worth, in fact. This may sound good now, but believe me, things are only gonna get worse. And you can tell that from the very next screen of the game. Who thought that this needed rendering into the fucking game? Why was this inclusion necessary? It's just fucking disturbing. Chris Tucker was scary enough in the fucking movie, and now we have this monstrosity with his flaccid and lubricious, greasy, wibbly, wobbly, slippy sausage legs. Ew. Anyway, I guess that is Corbin Dallas? It's what? That looks nothing like him. Yeah, you're telling me. And hey, who remembers this delightful scene from the movie? That classic cinematic moment where Dallas has to make Lilu. Nothing about him being a fucking taxi driver and Lilu just landing in his ship. No, this is the true plot. And to be honest, you're a twat if you think otherwise. Anyway, let's just get on with this and get the pain out of the way. Whoa, wait a second. There's something a little bit wrong here. How can the movie itself look pretty damn good and not the actual fucking game? I mean, the models aren't too shabby, but fuck, this draw distance is worse than the PS1 port of South Park. And the areas are even bleaker and less interesting. And here's the thing, South Park was an intentional joke on the style of the show. I just find it very funny how you have this much to work with, and yet you give us this. Come on, guys. And weirdly enough, even before the visuals, the actual first thing that I noticed was this extremely bizarre pivoting turn. It just doesn't look right.
Turning around on this music box that's wound by a key.
Anyway, I then decide to set off, and Christ almighty, these controls suck eggs. It almost tries to take a very Tomb Raider approach to the controls, but instead are fucking broken. And instead with Bruce Willis's voluptuous pexes. Dallas moves too quickly in a straight line and turns left and right far too slowly and delayed to keep up with himself. Because of this, the game ends up turning into a series of straight fire sprints and then sluggish, awkward trajectory changes. It's really not fun. But as I was dicking around with these awful controls and shooting the walls with Dallas's VHS tape, I managed to find another pickup, which was fucking sweet. And now it's time to go exploring. After having a little look down here, I then run into... Okay, that was fair. Get him! Shoot him! Turn! Why won't you work? Why aren't you dying? What the hell do I do? Okay. Oh my god, there's another one. Oh my god, this guy is sucking me dry. Okay. Died. What? You guys could see how many times I shot him. Or her. Or it. Who gives a fucking monkeys? Well, at least now I know not where to go. And as I roam around to the other way, I notice that we actually have a sidestep, which is pretty good. It almost feels like Nightmare Creatures. Keyword being almost. It's just 5 times slower, clunkier, and clumsier, to be honest. And it's around this point where I need to ask, how the hell does the fucking combat work? I'm plugging relentless bullets into this guy, and it appears to be doing bugger all. It seems as though he's just blocking everything. Am I missing something here? Or is the game just shit? Whatever. Kill him. And oh my god, what exactly do you call that run? Has Dallas decided to adapt the monorail style of bodily movement of forwards brum brum? I mean, let's be honest, that does look a little bit fucking dumb. And then just when I'm trying to work shit out, I get shot at. Who's doing that? Where am I aiming? This draw distance is horrendous. Oh, as it turns out, our good friend is up there? There? But why? And I need to ask the same why question regarding the puzzles. As far as they go, you blow something up to open doors. Seriously, that's more or less every single fucking puzzle, so get used to it. But one thing I do not want to get used to, though, is this platforming. Oh joy. Just so that I feel completely justified to each and all future occurring deaths, I'm just gonna look up the full controls quickly. Ugh. What? Look at these backwards ass commands. When did this game become fucking teaching? Well, believe it or not, I'm not gonna bother learning any of that stuff. So I tackled the platforming head on. And good lord, due to these broken controls, even running straight across these bridges is stomach-churningly hard work. As for the actual jumping, every single one that you execute requires tons of precise fiddling and unprecedented planning. And even then, it's still scary as shit when you actually go for it. Talking about scary, look at this deep indoor warehouse, where I also get shot at from draw distance central. I mean, not only is that a huge problem and completely unfair, but these combat mechanics with Dallas and the enemies are completely wrecked. So get this, whenever you shoot an enemy, they block your attacks. And whenever you reload or aren't shooting them back, they attack you. You more or less get absolutely no window or chance to attack, and even when you try to trick an enemy by blocking and letting them attack you to expose themselves, firstly, your blocks do fuck all to protect yourself, and it doesn't matter even if you find cover, because the second that you start retaliating, they fucking block you back. That's not fair. So nearly 90% of the time, you end up spamming the shooting button and just hoping that these shit biscuits drop down dead and let you move on. I mean, no matter how cautiously you approach any situation, this bullcrap ends up happening and you simply fail. If Nightmare Creatures could give you simpler and quicker response in the controls and do combat correctly and forefront to the gameplay, why can't this? It spends too much time focusing on shit that it doesn't need to focus on, like cruddy puzzles and awful platforming, and so instead of appealing to all, it then just blends everything into a shit smoothie and then appeals to fucking no one. Combine that fact with controls that even rival the terribleness of Batman Forever on SNES, and you have a very tasty treat. I mean, look, how fair is it that I'm being shot from there? And how fair is it that I died there? What is this madness? You'd probably think that starting off with 10 lives would be a little bit lenient for this kind of game, but no! Because believe me, you will use up every single one in an hour, guaranteed. Well, I did anyway. Maybe I just suck at the game. Anyway, here I am at some lovely crates, so I might need some good camera work to help me out here. Look up the controls, yep, all looks good. So, yeah, just as I thought.
The camera angles do fuck all.
Seriously, I'm switching through them now. What's the difference? I mean, everywhere is too enclosed to make a difference anyway, but that's not the point. I'd like to at least see what the fuck is going on as opposed to... yeah, of course, yeah, as opposed to that. And thrack me sideways, this melee combat is atrocious. Every time that you get hit, you freeze for a second, meaning that you can be continually attacked straight away. No chance to counter or even to run away. But seriously, this melee thing only gets much worse later. And this is when I end up getting completely stuck. Why is this? Well, because the level design is horrendous. There's no distinctive interactivity with any switches or objects, so you just end up spamming the action button everywhere until something happens. Even when you come up near a desk and press the action button, Dallas will press and try to activate absolutely everything and anything, even when there's nothing there to press. There's no clear way of telling exactly what is clickable, and even if you did know what you were clicking on, you better hope that you are fucking dead on, otherwise nothing will happen. It's all just a case of luck and a complete shitty guess. And speaking of shit, after more fooking around and figuring out what I'm doing, this is where the music begins to piss me off a lot. It's droning and it's repetitive, but not in a good and atmospherically ambient way. It's simply just an unoriginal and grating set of the same sloppy futuristic noises and stock forgettable action melodies. Nothing much more to say, really. And once you finally click the right thing and figure out what you're doing, it cuts to something like this. Well, you know, maybe that would help if this level wasn't built to a maze-like level design. Everywhere and everything looks identical, and transporters take you anywhere, and everything is just a nightmare to navigate through. So, you know, maybe some more distinctive details would be pleasant. I mean, where the fuck is that? I can't remember. I don't care. Phew. Finally figured out what I'm doing. On we go. Ooh, what the hell is that? Why can't I attack it? Help me!
Jesus, save me!
Oh, it's a friend. It's helping me. Oh, false alarm. But hey, at least now I think I'm making progress. Okay, let's just go in here and oh, I'm back here again. Yeah. I completely fucking hate that! And then I did it, and I win. On to the next level where we play as Lilu, and I gotta say, fuck Ruby Rod and his deathly entrance. I mean, just listen to the music as he slivers in. Hey, I remember that scene from the movie! And what doesn't help matters is when scary shit like this happens. And now it turns out that we have no weapon to rely on, meaning a lot more of this stupid melee bollocks that doesn't work. I mean, just watch here. Like I said earlier, every hit that you take freezes you from action or movement for a second or two, so these guys just keep wailing at you. You can ram down any buttons that you want to as fast as you can, but it's all a complete wild goose chase, and a complete waste of breath and exempted effort over something that won't work. You're just going to stay stuck, even if you try running away. Anything that you try and do just won't happen, and you need to pray for luck that you can just escape soon enough before you die. Just like me. I wriggled away, tried to move on, and then more enemies decided to show their ugly mugs. Seriously, what do? I can't do anything!
No more, please.
This game blows and you should stay away from it. It's one of the worst movie tie-ins I've ever played, and the fact that Callisto Entertainment went from nightmare creatures of all things to this fucking broken mess is just tragic. Despite the fact it's got the same game mechanics, or the same basic game mechanics anyway, it's just fucking sad, really. It's a shameless cash-in, and even though you guys only saw the first 2 levels of it, it's the same bullshit all the way through, and it's an experience that you can very much predict yourself, and it's also an experience that completely deserves the slaughter. Oh god, it's happening again!
Caddy, the great evil is attacking.
What in God's name are you blabbering about?
We have the 4 key elements ready to defeat the evil in the form of 4 stones.
I don't get it!
Look out the window!
Oh yeah, I see them.
But we're missing the final part of the weapon. The divine light can't be released without the 5th element.
Why the bloody hell are you telling me this?
Look at the game!
Oh yeah, it has the 5th element written on it, so it must be the 5th element.
Throw it now!
Oh yeah. End of the world and everything. Cool. Go! Saved the world.
Cool. See you later.
What? Anyway, if it's your birthday today while watching this video, then happy frickin' birthday to you, and please remember to stay beautiful. Here is to the next 100,000 subscribers. Thank you all again. You fucking amazing people.
Ay, ay, ay.